Good morning and welcome to today's presentation, Keeping Your Company Secure and Compliant in a Work-from-Home Environment. I'm Kittersey Johnson, a member of the Garry L. Johnson & Associates team. All of us here at GLJ would like to say thank you for taking time out of your day to join us. So just some quick housekeeping. If you have any questions during the presentation, please submit it in the chat feature to the right of the screen. We'll be sure to address your questions at the end of the presentation. Now, I'm pleased to be able to introduce our presenter today, James Harrison, founder and CEO of the cyber defense solution company INVISUS. As chief strategist for INVISUS, James leads the development of the company's cybersecurity, identity theft, and InfoSafe data breach compliance and breach response lineup that protects businesses and organizations throughout the U.S. and internationally. James frequently writes for, speaks, and trains in a wide variety of industry and trade groups, including financial services, legal, insurance, IT services, home security, and more. Without further ado, let's turn the time over to James.
Okay, perfect. Hey, everybody, thank you for joining. My name is James Harrison. It's a pleasure to be here. We've had a great relationship with Garry L. Johnson & Associates over a period of years, and we've worked in the cybersecurity industry with them for quite some time. This topic is very timely and important. Hopefully, you get some good information out of this that you can take back to your company and implement some important tips and strategies for building a successful work-from-home environment. I'm the CEO of INVISUS. We're a cybersecurity company, been around almost 20 years. We've got customers all over the country and around the world. And one of the core functions, what we do as a company is help small businesses stay safe and secure in today's digital age against cybercrime, identity theft problems, things like that. So this is in our wheelhouse. We've done this for many years in supporting a work-from-home environment, in supporting small businesses in their technical needs or cybersecurity needs. So let's go ahead and get started. What I'm going to cover here in the next little bit, as I move my slides forward. Hopefully you can see that. What I want to cover is the trending, very little bit on trending in the future of kind of work from home, or, you know, I've seen this acronym WFH used more frequently, so that's work from home. How work from home puts your business at risk, maybe some compliance requirements around that, what you should worry about as a business owner or business manager related to telecommuting and working from home, and are there data security compliance requirements around that. We're going to discuss a little bit about the keys to a successful, secure work from home plan, some of the things you should be doing right now to protect your business and yourself. And then we're going to just introduce real quickly one of the solutions that we have in this area, and that is our remote workforce plan for our iCare Pro solution. Let's jump into a little bit of the trending here. With COVID-19, you know, this is probably going to get wrapped up. People are going to start going back to work a little bit. Stores, restaurants are going to start opening. We're going to see maybe this wind down this summer. There's a strong possibility that we end up in sort of another lockdown quarantine situation this fall or winter, where, you know, people are starting to talk about that as flu season returns. The fact of the matter is that if this is any sign of what could happen in the future pandemics, or even natural disasters of any kind, working from home is going to become a mainstay trend in the workplace. It's becoming a new normal, and all the experts that I'm following and that we talk with and work with, they're all talking about this new normal. There's estimates that are saying that up to 50% of office professionals are going to be working from home in the future. Certainly, office environments are going to be required to have social distancing standards within the workplace. So even the whole workplace itself is going to evolve and change on where people sit and how they interact with each other. There's new tools and technologies being developed right now to support that work from home strategy. You've heard of Zoom meetings and things like that having security risks. We're just at the tip of the iceberg on this new technology and tools to support a really successful work from home strategy. But the fact of the matter is that working from home is going to become a new normal. How it affects your business is going to be unique to you, but more and more people are going to get used to doing this, working from anywhere, and providing successful customer experiences anywhere. The challenges that are coming, they're kind of emerging with that work from home strategy that we've pinpointed. Communication, of course, is a big one. How do you communicate as from a company to your employees and your staff, and keep people on the same page. Teamwork, having these teams successfully work together in a virtual environment is a challenge, and it introduces new dynamics that we have to deal with. The culture of your business is going to shift a little bit. We have this issue in our own company. We have a number of our employees working from home currently, and we've had to create that infrastructure to enable that, and we did that and successfully transitioned a couple months ago to doing that. But one of the side effects is the culture. The dynamics of employees who used to be working so closely together now don't communicate to each other except through a video call or something. And there's culture dynamics, team building, that family atmosphere that companies have. It's going to affect the culture. What we're here to talk about today in part is that the last challenge on my list here is security. And working from home is creating a whole host of new problems with security, cybersecurity for company, for employee, and for customer data. Thieves are after your company information, your employee information, and customer data. And that work from home trend is bringing up new security challenges that everybody's going to have to deal with when you have people working from home. So, what's that?
You're sharing this, right?
Oh, I wonder why. Todd's just pointed out that I'm sharing my smaller screen, and I've got two monitors running, so maybe that's part of the challenge here. Let me switch these around and see if I can make it work better for you guys so you can see the whole screen. Let me just disconnect that monitor. Sorry, folks. I'm trying. If that's better, maybe you can read my notes here. So the security challenges with working from home, let's continue that conversation a little bit. The cybersecurity risks with a home office. As you move employees into their home office, some are working from a kitchen table, some actually have a home office. Some are working in their bedroom, in a table they've set up in their bedroom. But that change in the workplace is dynamic. It is changing every day now, and how people are accommodating this ability to work from home. But when you have an employee working from home, either part-time or full-time working from home, well, let's say they're there 3 days a week, 2 days a week, maybe they're there full-time at home. They have computers and mobile devices that they're using for work purposes, whether they're company-owned devices that you sent home with them, or whether they're using their own home computer or laptop, their own cell phone for work purposes. The home network and the Wi-Fi are a risk. The computers in the home environment are a risk. You have that family risk. I put that in quotes there because it's kind of funny. How many of us have family at home? How many of your employees have teenagers or kids at home? And when they go home to work, establishing that safe working from home environment, you have to deal with family members and that risk of a teenager using, mom or dad's computer to go download cheat codes for a video game, and all of a sudden that computer's infected. We see it, believe me. It happens. So the family risk is there, and if the protocols aren't set up properly for that computer and that mobile device, whether it's a tablet or a cell phone, if the Wi-Fi network at the home is not secured properly, if the home network isn't locked down well, and there's separation between the PS4 and the Xbox and the smart TV and the home network that the work computer is now plugged into, there's some risks there. And hackers know this, the bad guys know this, and they will continue to find ways to leverage that risk to get to your company through that remote employee. So I have another bullet point underneath that called VPN exposure risks. Let me just address that very quickly. VPNs become access points to your company network. Many companies are asking or requiring employees to use an authorized VPN technology, a virtual private network, the ability to tunnel in securely into the company servers, into the company networks, and do work from home through a safe and secure VPN connection. Here's the rub with that. Here's the challenge. If an employee is using a VPN from home, let's say it's company approved and you've done all the right things, if that employee's computer becomes compromised in that home environment with ransomware, with a virus, with any sort of spyware, if it's compromised, the hacker can control that computer and through that computer tunnel directly into your company. Let me say that again. That VPN can become a backdoor access point to your company. So if you have 10, 20, 30, 50 employees working from home, Imagine the number of potential access points that you now have into your firewall and into your company network. So VPNs need to be installed properly, set up properly, but even when they are set up properly, when the employee is compromised in their home environment, it is possible for the bad guys to get through that VPN to the company and create data breach problems. So employees are a backdoor into the company when they work from home. Now, employees are a backdoor anyway, even if they're in the office. Their email can be compromised, just working at the office. But in the home environment, there's new risks we have to deal with, right? So pay attention to those types of exposures and risks. There is an increase in data breach risk with working from home. Early estimates are showing a minimum of a 10 to 20% increase in data breach risk simply by having people working from home. Just in the last 6 to 8 weeks, that's the statistics out there today. And I'm guessing, I've been around a long time, I'm guessing you're going to see that number go up dramatically, that you're going to see more and more employees compromised in their home environment that then compromise the business and result in a data breach. Another couple of challenges I want to point out is the tech support problems working from home. It's difficult for a lot of smaller companies to provide that on-demand technical support service and solution to a remote worker. If their email goes down, if they can't watch a video, if certain things just aren't happening right, the VPN doesn't work, whatever, there's distractions, there's downtime, there's lost productivity, and it also creates security risk when they try to do what we call shadow IT. When they try to solve their own problems, or when they bring the brother-in-law in and say, hey, you're here for dinner or whatever, or hey, can you come over and check out my computer? If they don't have immediate, easy access to trained professionals who know how to solve these problems, they will try to do shadow IT and figure it out on their own because they want to be productive. They want to do the best they can. And if you don't have a setup in place now to solve that problem within hours or within minutes, there's a chance they're going to try and tackle that on their own, and I'm telling you, it will create exposure and problems for your business. So shadow IT, using that backroom guy that nobody knows who's working on that computer, it happens. So let's make sure you're aware of those tech support systems that need to be put in place and the shadow IT problem that comes from not doing that. Okay, so those are some of the security challenges. Let me address a couple more. If I can get to the next screen. Here we go. Okay, yeah, enough about that. Okay, let's talk compliance. And if any of you are in the healthcare world, you're familiar with HIPAA compliance and several other types of laws, related to healthcare, even the Arizona state law. But if you're in financial services, you should be aware of the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act and other federal laws that are out there. Arizona has a state law dealing with data breaches and cybersecurity and identity theft. All 50 states have those laws in place. So that's a given, and that's been around for years, these data breach regulations and requirements. But those regulations and the best practices for security extend to your remote workforce. So when you send employees home to work, or that becomes the new norm, you've got to make sure that your information security plan and all the things you do meet these privacy and data security compliance requirements. And there are some specific things that you've got to pay attention to. I'm actually going to give you the list here in a little bit of things to pay attention to. But just keep in mind, data security laws, data privacy laws, they're everywhere. California's new CCPA law, if you do business or have any customers in California, you got to be compliant with that one. That one's a harsh law. Coming up this summer, they're going to start enforcing it, and they will throw $1 million fines at people who are violating their privacy rules for customer data privacy. 11 or 14 other states have now implemented similar laws. These are things you got to have on your radar. And having a remote workforce applies, and you've got to extend your best practices into the home workplace. Okay, client contractual requirements. If you have key clients or relationships where they have said, hey, we're sharing sensitive information with you, or you do these core services for us, we want our information protected, and that also extends to the home environment. So if you have specific terms and conditions in client agreements, pay attention to those. Go back and review those and make sure you're meeting any client contractual requirements for privacy compliance with working from home. Okay, next. I want to talk about I'm going to give you I think there's 7 key steps in here to a secure and compliant work from home plan. This is just free advice. Take notes or take screenshots, whatever you want. This is some key information that you can take back to your business and start now to implement. and do some real changes. Number one, we want to create a secure and safe remote work environment. And what we mean by that is the computer and the mobile device, the Wi-Fi and the home network, and conducting regular cybersecurity checkups on every remote worker. You need to create and establish that safe remote work environment. If you're not 100% certain that they're operating from a safe and secure home environment, that's the first key, okay? Make sure that the computer has all the right security software and everything. If you're going to do VPNs, if you're going to do encryption, all those kinds of things, make sure that that's all set up. Safe remote work environment. Number two, secure access management using VPNs or other multi-factor authentication or password policies. The people who are working from home need to have secure access to the data they need and nothing more. And that leads to point number three, restrict data access based on roles. If somebody doesn't need to access the full server, don't give them access to the full server. Just give them role-based access. So make it secure access management, but then restrict access based on roles. Those are some fundamental things that will help you stay compliant with laws and regulations around how you process and handle information. The challenge is, and again, I can tell you lots of stories about this. If you have an employee at home who's accessing other employee records or client records and they're compromised at home, you can not only infect the whole network and get everybody taken down and have a full ransomware attack or something, but that full breach can happen right in the employee's home. So by restricting the data and what they do in that environment or protecting it when it's there, you're going to save yourself a lot of headaches. Number four is employee security training. Every employee working from home should be going through a training protocol on what does it mean to work safely from home. If you don't have a training program related to cybersecurity and best practice for working from home, and every employee, if they haven't been through it or been tested on it, I'd suggest you take a strong look at that. That's another key, is have good employee training. The next one, number five, is compliance oversight. If you currently have a compliance officer, or if a manager in your business, or if you're a business owner, and if you have oversight responsibilities on compliance, make sure that you are ready for an audit in this area. We recommend that you update your work from home policies, your remote workforce policies, update your information security plan accordingly. If you need to make adjustments to these areas that I'm covering here, then go ahead and do it. Update your security plan with those new policies and procedures for safely working from home. We recommend right now that you conduct a current risk assessment and compliance assessment report. So have a third party, or if typically it's better if you have a third party conduct that risk assessment report, and maybe consider getting third party certification on your compliance. Have a third party take a look at your work processes and certify that you meet these standards for Arizona state law or other state laws and federal laws or other standards that are out there. Number six is have a work from home incident response plan. If an employee has a virus, a ransomware attack, they've been phished through a scam email, what's your plan to respond to that, right? You should have a plan in place, and have the ability for everybody to report through some sort of a reporting system for incidents. You need to have a response plan in place. Everybody working from home should know what to do if this and that happens. Number seven is on-demand tech support. Don't let shadow IT happen. Make sure that the employee has access to immediate help to solve problems, so that they're not trying to solve problems on their own and create security risks for you, or downtime or productivity problems. So a key to a successful and safe and compliant work from home plan does include that idea of providing on-demand technical support. Now that can be expensive. I don't know how you handle IT. If you have in-house IT, maybe they can handle that remote technical support work. If you outsource your IT to a third-party company, perhaps they offer that function to be able to provide that remote technical support services. This is something that we do, but you don't have to pay an arm and a leg to get that on-demand tech support. To have them have access to a call center to call into that's trusted, that they can get problems solved immediately. Make sure that you're working with a trusted company that can do that, and do it on demand, and you don't have to pay an arm and a leg. If you feel like you're paying an arm and a leg for it, then maybe you need to talk to us, because there's easy, simple ways, cheap ways to do this. Those are the key 7 things I wanted to cover in terms of, if I were in your shoes, this is what I'd be doing. This is what we are doing here at our company. So to summarize that, I put, consider these next steps, action items. I'm suggesting you evaluate your current work from home plan, top to bottom. Conduct a risk and compliance assessment. If you have not done one in terms of data breach, cybersecurity, have you conducted a risk and compliance assessment recently? Even if you have in the last 6 to 12 months, now is the time to go back and say, well, how does this new work from home plan affect data breaches and cybersecurity? Does your firewall now have vulnerabilities that it didn't before? Does your network at risk where it wasn't before? You need to make sure that you've evaluated again, risk and compliance. I'm going to give you this number 3 recommendation. If you have not done a full cybersecurity checkup for every remote employee, that's something that I recommend you do immediately. Everybody who's working from home should have a checkup done. An expert should be remotely logging into that remote work environment and checking the computer, asking questions about the mobile devices, looking at the Wi-Fi network and making sure that's got the proper protections in it. If you haven't done that for the remote workers, now's the time. Get some confidence that your remote workers are operating from a safe standpoint at their remote work environment. So get a full checkup done. Number 4, provide employee security training and alerts. If you haven't done remote workforce training on this for security, get that going. Train people on the best practices and then remind them. And then we're recommending that you put alerts out there too. Make sure they're aware of the latest scams and threats. Sometimes it's a lot easier when you're in your office and everybody's kind of talking and you have an IT guy running around saying, hey, watch out for this, watch out for that. And you can do that through email as well, but being alerted to the new scams and threats of ransomware and phishing attacks and CEO spear phishing attacks and all the other business email compromise that's out there, having those alerts handy is really important for a remote worker. How else are they going to know what to watch out for if you guys aren't helping them stay abreast of that stuff? Working from home. Okay, number 5 is update your security plan overall. We're recommending that those policies and procedures that need to be addressed and get updated in your security plan. If you don't have an information security plan, you really ought to consider getting one done and created. That's your operating handbook for how you're going to protect your customer data and your employee data and your business confidential information. That information security plan is a vital legal defensibility document. If you ever suffer a breach, if an employee causes a breach because they've been working from home and an auditor were to walk into your doors within a day or 2 of that report hitting the Attorney General's office, somebody files a complaint and you were audited, do you have your information security plan in place? Do you have a work from home plan in place? Could you pass that audit? If you have a good, solid information security plan and you update it with your work from home and stuff, you should be just fine. But so update your security plan. If you don't have one, get one. Again, that's something we do and help out with here at our company. Number 6, get that workforce security and support plan put in place. If you need to, hire a third-party company to help you build it, create it, and support it. And so those are my top recommendations for you to consider, your action items, if you will, to take away from this quick thing. I want to introduce you to our iCare Pro plan as a solution. For those of you who are, who just went through that information, are asking yourselves, how am I going to do this? If you're looking at it like deer in the headlights, like where do I start? What do I do? There is help. There's good news out there. This is what we've done for decades, literally. So we're proud to work with Gary Johnson's office there to introduce you to our iCare Pro remote workforce plan. This is something that is developed specifically for small to mid-sized businesses. It's priced that way, and the feature set, I'm gonna lay out just real quickly what we can do to help you, and then I'll give you an invitation to get a quote or to talk to us by phone and see if this is a good match for you. Our objective here is to give you some education and some tips on what to do, and then if we can be of help, we'd love to jump in and help you out, protect your business with this new remote workforce trend. What iCare Pro does in our remote workforce plan is, number 1, we provide quarterly cybersecurity checkups for every employee who's working remotely. So whoever you put on this plan, we're going to do quarterly. We're going to send out invites, and we remotely connect in, and we just conduct a standard cybersecurity assessment. We're looking for viruses, for hints of ransomware, ghost files that might be spyware or keystroke tracking, all the stuff that we see regularly, we're going to look for. If that employee's computer has been compromised, we're able to clean it up and fix it up and lock it back down again. We can evaluate antivirus and firewalls. We've had people who've had their kids log in and to dad or mom's computer and turn off the firewall so they can play a game. And then they're left without a firewall, or they disable anti-malware technology because it's blocking them from watching a certain video, or heaven forbid they surf porn or something crazy like that really ends up screwing up that home work environment. This stuff happens, and so having these quarterly checkups is a huge benefit because we'll catch things and solve problems proactively that you won't have to worry about. It's great peace of mind. At the same time, we're checking the home network, the Wi-Fi, making sure that everything's updated, their latest drivers are in there, all that kind of stuff. So quarterly checkups for every employee. If they're not available or whatever, we'll send a couple invites and hopefully they connect with us and we can get that done every quarter. The second thing that we do is we provide on-demand remote expert tech support. So we have our U.S.-based call center based here in Utah, and we've got a fantastic team of people who are trained and certified in security and tech support. And we've done this for almost 20 years now, so we're pretty good at this game in providing this type of service to smaller businesses. What that remote support plan includes is unlimited access to our tech team. There's no per call or per support ticket charges. So we don't want people to feel constrained by how often they can call in for help. We want employees to be productive, to be safe, and to give the assurance to you that they're not going to create a backdoor problem for the business. We remove viruses, and if there's a virus attack or malware, we can work on ransomware problems. There's a lot of things we can do remotely. We can address and troubleshoot the computer problem, any problem really. Is Windows acting up? Did the latest update mess up an email program? We can troubleshoot and solve those problems. We can look at the home network, the Wi-Fi, and troubleshoot problems there. The performance of a computer, speed optimization, email troubleshooting and support, peripherals, including their printer and plugging and syncing their phone with their computer. All of those things are covered, including mobile device security and support under our remote tech support plan. To just have that benefit at home alone is worth a lot of money, because if you can imagine having that on-demand support paid through what you typically would pay out there, if you've ever priced that, how pricey this can get. We've got a solution that's pretty affordable. So the quarterly checkups plus on-demand support for any issue out there. Number 3, we're going to provide you with security training program so your employees can have full awareness of what they should be doing to stay safe in their remote work environment. It's an online course. It's done in about 30 to 45 minutes. There's a quiz, so we're testing for competency, like they read it, they understood it, they know what they're doing. That comes with it. And there's also a whole alert service that comes with this. So employee cybersecurity alerts. We will help them stay abreast of the latest cyber threats and scams and trends out there. It comes through email. They can receive text notifications on that if they want, but we'll do that hard part of staying current with all the bad stuff going on, and we'll notify you, all your employees, everybody who's on this program of those threats. This helps build awareness, and it builds that culture of security that you need in that remote workforce. Culture was one of those things that we talked about as a challenge in a remote workforce environment. These alerts help you build a culture of security, even in a remote environment. And then the last thing that we do with this program is when you start allowing people to work from home and deal with sensitive information and data, or maybe they don't deal with sensitive information and data, they just have access to systems, email or whatever, just to support and do their job. We want to make sure that your firewalls, your network at the office, wherever it is not put at risk now because of these remote access points. Let's say you've implemented VPNs, or maybe you haven't implemented VPN technology for everybody. Maybe you've got a certain way to authenticate and do multi-factor authentication. We want to test your firewalls, your external network IP addresses, to see if like a remote desktop protocol of some sort opened up a hole that we didn't know about. So we're going to provide your company with vulnerability scanning every 6 months when you're on this program to check for firewall weaknesses, network weaknesses, server weaknesses from an external viewpoint. We're not getting inside your computers and your network at the office and looking from the inside out. We're not penetrating in the network. It's not a full penetration test where we're actually hacking your firewall. This is just a vulnerability scan to look for the exploits that a hacker would use to breach your systems. We want to discover the potential risks from VPN access and other remote connects and things like that. Show them to your IT team and let them go to work to fix those problems. So that, again, is a very powerful benefit. When you set up a remote workforce, you've got to have all these kinds of things in place. We've got the solution that will help you solve those problems. Maybe you've got them all underway on your own, but we're here to help. I'm going to tell you about what we're doing during COVID-19, for this year and maybe even next year. We've put a discounted rate together. This is the price. You're probably going to ask, how much is this? We're at $15 a month per employee. It's normally $25 a month for this full program. But if you want to get into this now and have this service available, we've dropped our prices dramatically. So now's a very good time to become a customer. Now's a great time to get as many employees as you want and can onto this program to have all these benefits. We're waiving the setup costs. There's no minimums. You don't have to have a minimum number of employees. And there's no long-term agreement on this, so you can try it risk-free. So we're not requiring a 1-year agreement or a 36-month agreement. You can literally run this month to month. That's how free and flexible we're trying to be with this during this time when everybody's trying to make adjustments to adapting to this new work from home plan. So we're trying to be as flexible as we can to help you out. And so we've cut prices and we've waived costs. And that's the good news. And so because of your relationship with GLJ, that's why you're getting this offer. So I'm going to wrap this up, and then I know maybe there's some Q&A, and since I don't have audio, we may have to figure out how to do that. But I wanted to end with a thank you, first of all, for attending. And then I've got some contact information up on the screen here. My personal information is there. That's our office phone number and my email address here at INVISUS. If you want to reach out to our team or to myself for more information, talk it through, talk about your specific needs with your business, we're more than happy to do that. I know that GLJ has some knowledge and information about this as well. Curtis Shepard is your contact there, and I've got his information on this screen as well. If you want to reach out to him and maybe coordinate calls with us, but we want you to find it easy to get your questions answered and get enrolled. The link that's on the screen there, is that discounted pricing link. You can enroll right online. You can add as many computers and employees as you want to this program, and you can get started anytime. Once you get enrolled, one of our representatives from our company will reach out to you and help coordinate a setup and a rollout, and put it on your timeline and make sure that we understand your work environment, and establish that initial checkup process of what you want to do and start scheduling all that stuff out. So one of our representatives will help coordinate all that for you. But that is my last screen, and so thank you again, everybody, for listening in. Hopefully that was helpful.
Thanks, Jamie. I think that's very helpful. This is Todd Williams. I'm the VP of Sales here at INVISUS. I'm actually going to unmute everybody, and we'll just take a Q&A.
Muted. Unmuted.
There we go.
Now I'm unmuted.
So are there any questions?
Oh, wow. Can you hear me here?
Yeah. Are there any questions? I haven't had any questions on the thing, so maybe that's it.
Kirsty, are you there?
I am. Perfect. Thanks, guys, so much. Thank you, James. And thank you all of you once again for joining us today. If we don't have any other questions, again, feel free to contact either James or Curtis Shepard at our office at the email addresses on your screen, or by phone. And for sure, please check out the glj.iCareSupport website so you can learn some more information and enroll online. So we look forward to helping you meet your compliance cyber needs, everyone, and we just want to wish you an amazing day. So thank you.
Thanks, Kirsty. Appreciate your help.